Welcome back, everybody, to the Overleveled podcast. That's official. It's official. we had the name as what was it?
Random encounter.
Yeah. Random encounter.
I love how you immediately forget.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just so forgettable now, obviously,
yeah.
because we have such a better name. You know,
Absolutely.
Random Encounter is a business that does role-playing, RPG, news, and podcasts and YouTube stuff already.
Surprise.
They're not. I mean, maybe they are huge, but from me just trying to do some research, I obviously couldn't find them because I was like, oh, this name works, and then I afterwards quickly found out no, it doesn't. So we've changed the name. We've changed our game. DJ, before we start,
Uh-huh.
how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
Doing all right. I actually just started a new job today.
Oh, yeah. How's that going?
Brand new job. It was cool. I'm cleaning pools now.
And
And pools
Definitely works for
are
this time.
cool.
Pools are cool.
Yeah, pools are cool.
Put that on a shirt.
Yeah, fun stuff, easy stuff. I kind of get to, whenever I'm done training and stuff, they'll give me my own truck that I get to take home and stuff. So I'll have another vehicle. They'll give me a company phone, so I'll get to kind of cancel my phone plan and just kind of, use a phone for free.
Damn, cleaning
They'll pay
pools
for my
sound tight.
gas. Oh, dude, easy. So, well, it's not the easiest thing.
Right.
It's hard. It's labor, but.
Yeah.
Good shit, man. I think whenever I'm out of training, that's whenever I'll receive the truck and all that, and then I'll be on my own and can just listen to music while I clean pools all day and listen to podcasts.
Yeah, like this one.
Like this one. I'll just be listening to episode 3 of the Overleveled podcast over and over and over again.
Absolutely.
Just like you should, DJ.
So, what are we doing? That was funny.
Okay, yeah. So today, and probably before we go ahead and kind of explain what we're doing today, I guess we should also we should note that we're gonna have some questions, some community stuff that we wanna kind of go over with a little bit at the end of this podcast, and maybe some stuff that we can do next episode. So after this one, if you stay to the end, we have some questions for you, audience. If you can answer them for us, we will mention you in the next video, and we'll just
give you
we'll have a conversation. But yeah,
I like that.
Okay, so DJ, you can see my screen now, correct?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Cool.
Audience, can you see the screen?
They can see the screen now.
Good.
Yes, I'm recording the screen. Yes, they can see it.
Good.
We today will be ranking the SIDs from the Final Fantasy series.
Yeah.
As you can see, we're not biased at all.
Nope.
We
not
don't.
At all.
This is purely objective.
Yeah. This is
All
a fair
right.
list.
We don't have any biases at all.
Not at all.
If you're just listening to the podcast, the top tier is Final Fantasy VII Sid. But hey, maybe we'll surprise you.
Yeah. Don't know what's gonna happen.
Maybe that won't be him up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. DJ, do you? I asked you this beforehand, but maybe you don't feel like Final Fantasy VII is the best Sid. Do you have a favorite Sid?
Nope.
Cool.
I mean, all the Sids are cool, but I'm never just like, yo, this Sid, this Sid, he's got my gander, dude. He's on it.
Yeah.
Like all the Sids are cool, but I'm never just like, yo, Sids.
Bro, I love SIDS.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about sudden infant death syndrome.
Right.
Yikes.
Okay. Yeah, I guess let's start off with do you want to start off like going from Final Fantasy 1 to 15, or just like how you have it set up here?
Well, DJ, that would be impossible to go from Final Fantasy 1 to 15.
Why?
Because there's no Cid in Final Fantasy 1, you fucking idiot.
Uh-oh.
Well? Who is this one? Who's at the very beginning?
This is Final Fantasy X Cid. It took me a while to remember who that was. But yeah, that's Final Fantasy X.
Honestly, dude, though. Who? Our bottom tier is who?
That
Basically,
sounds like the Home Improvement.
Yeah. Our bottom tier is just like, I guess, the most unmemorable Cids.
Well, I mean, because
I don't know. He's not.
He showed up like halfway, like through the game, you know.
Sure.
And like he wasn't really that memorable. I put him a D. I wouldn't put him who, but I'd probably put him a D. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember him.
Okay,
but
we'll put him
barely.
in D. All right, that's fair. So wait, was he Albed?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I figured. So Waka's racist to this guy.
Very racist. But
Yeah,
it's okay because near the end
fine.
he's like, not all Albeds are bad.
Okay, Albed lives matter.
Jesus.
Okay, who is the second one?
I don't know.
Hold on, no. Hold on, guys. We can't fucking do this and not know who this Cid is.
You know what? I'm gonna go on
man.
a limb here. That's probably Final Fantasy 11 Cid.
Ooh, that's very possible. You know what? Looking at these other ones,
Because I remember a lot of these guys.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm just gonna go and say who on that.
Yeah.
guy.
Who? Sorry to any Final Fantasy 11 Cid lovers, but who?
Oh gosh, if you're just a fan of Final Fantasy 11 and you're listening to this podcast, just say something. I gotta know you exist. I gotta know you're out there. Okay.
You're a rare breed.
Okay, is this next one 12? Pretty sure it's
Yes.
12.
This is
I'm
12.
just looking
yeah.
at this guy. This guy's
One of the
giving off very
few-
12 vibes.
I know. One of the few
Alright.
Final Fantasy Cid villains.
Ooh, that's true.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So just from that alone, I would put him minimum C tier. But he was an
Minimum?
interesting character, like bare minimum, just because of the fact that he's a villain, which is an interesting change.
Right. You've beaten Final Fantasy 12. I have not.
Yeah.
I love that
It was
game.
cool.
From what I've played, it's got good gameplay, and I want to finish it.
I agree.
I don't think I've even met Cid yet. But pretty much all these other ones I have,
Right.
except for 5. That's
Yeah.
it. Okay, so Final Fantasy 12. Cid is a villain.
Mm-hmm.
He's dastardly,
Mm-hmm.
right?
He's a hard guy to beat.
Is he the... Okay, should we maybe have some sort of criteria here? Because I'm pretty sure all of them... Oh, okay. Do they commandeer an airship? I feel like should be a good quality.
Okay.
Because
So
there's
I
some
know
on here that I think they don't.
Yeah, I know Final Fantasy X Cid, he has the airship, so he's got
Right.
that going. Otherwise, he's not very memorable.
Sure.
Final Fantasy 12 Cid. I mean, yeah, but no.
Yeah, what's his deal? Yeah, what's his deal?
Like he's like the scientist, like the main scientist of the evil guys that you're fighting, like all those knights and stuff. He's like
Okay.
the head of that, and like they have an airship, but not for us.
Okay.
It's like
Well,
their main
okay.
airship.
So, villain Cid, I'm gonna go ahead and maybe throw you in B. I don't know you at all, but I like the fact that you're a villain. I do like villain Cid.
You know what? I agree with
Also, you know what? In Final Fantasy 13 Cid, I'm gonna go ahead and put you in C because guess what? He's also
wasn't as
kind of a
memorable.
villain, but he was super
Yeah.
not fucking memorable. I can't.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
cannot tell you. You know what? Maybe I'm even wrong. I played through all of Final Fantasy 13, but maybe he's
Same.
not even a villain, and I just hate this guy.
You know, I
I
mean,
don't
I just
know.
don't remember anything about him, to be honest. I think
Okay,
he
so
was.
I'm thinking who?
Yeah, fuck him. Who?
Okay, Final Fantasy 14 Cid. I think that's 14. Is
yes,
this 14?
that is 14.
Yes.
Cid. Yes.
Okay.
For me,
I'm not far.
out of
I'm
all
not
of
far
them-
enough in this story.
he is probably the most good-looking Cid.
Oh, he's pretty handsome.
Yeah, he's got that nice flowing hair.
Oh, That's true, dude. Holy shit, dude. Look at him.
Yeah, he's a good looking
He looks
guy.
like young. He's like young, but he's got like all gray.
Yeah,
Bro.
he's like young but mature, you know?
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put him in an A tier. Because I want to eat his A, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, with Final Fantasy XIV Sid, he was cool. Like, I mean, honestly, by the time I got to him, like, when I first was playing Final Fantasy XIV and getting into it, I was not really paying any attention to the story at all just because, like, there was just so much text. There was just too much going on. So I don't really know too much about it. I mean, I know some stuff about him, but I want to spoil it for you.
Sure.
But, I mean, I'll eventually get to that point again and, like, actually pay more attention. But, yeah, I'll go with A.
Okay.
All right. Final Fantasy 15 Sid.
Yeah, 15 Sid. Honestly, though, he's kind of a who for me.
I put him at
I'm not
D.
going to lie. What'd you say you'd put him?
I put him at D.
D.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair enough.
Mainly because I haven't played enough of 15.
Okay.
But also,
he goes to D for me because he does not fly an airship at all. He's just old, and he makes you go on fetch quests the entire time that you're like with him. He upgrades your equipment and your car and stuff.
He makes it fly.
Whenever you go see him. What's up?
He makes your car fly.
Yeah, but that's like, I'm pretty sure that's like after you beat the game and everything.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like
he's not really like the commander of any airships at all.
Just some guy in a fucking gas station.
He's just some trendy old man.
Yeah. Which honestly, when they first like showed his daughter, I thought that was gonna be the Cid, which
would have
been interesting.
Kind of was.
Yeah, I mean, she was more memorable.
A little bit.
Yeah. It just would have been interesting.
Oh yeah.
It just would have been interesting to like have like a female Cid, just in terms of like variability. Like we already have the Cids who are, you know, the good guys, and then we have evil Cids, and now it's like, oh, now there's a female Cid. Like it's cool that they like tried to have some, you know, diversity with the different Cids. Well, they just have a regular old man guy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, 16 isn't out yet.
That's true. Oh, yeah, that's possible.
You know, there's always the possibility.
Could be a paraplegic Cid.
Unless you... Oh, shit, bro. Quadriplegic?
Yeah. Oh.
Stephen Hawking Cid?
That'd be... Oh,
Stephen Hawking Cid?
I don't know about that one.
Dude. I love that idea.
All right, so is this Final Fantasy 2?
But yeah, so this guy, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, though... Shit, as far as like Cid criteria goes, I'm going to go ahead and pump 10 up to a C.
You know what? Yeah, that's true, because at least 10 is more useful than D, I feel
He's like an actual Cid.
Yeah.
He serves the purpose of Cid.
Yeah, that's
this
true.
15 Cid does not.
That's true.
He's just an old man who sits in front of a garage and he's got a smoking hot granddaughter.
I know.
That's it.
That's all he's got. That's all he's got cooking.
Okay, is this one Cid from Final Fantasy 6?
I think no, that's 2.
5. 2.
Is that 5?
Oh shit. First Cid.
Oh, it's first
Wait,
Cid?
one of the I think that's first or no. Yes.
Okay,
DJ, this is Final Fantasy 2 Cid.
Okay.
This is the man who started it all.
Yeah, this is the man who started it all. Okay. That's true.
Okay.
Not
gonna lie, his design is dope.
No, yeah, his design is cool. But in terms of usefulness, literally all he's there for is just to like as your fast travel guy.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, where do you want to go? I want to go here. All right, 500 gil. We'll take you there. That's it. That's literally all his purpose. Like he has no story, nothing really. He's just the fast travel guy.
That is true.
So if anything in that case, I would put him lower than Final Fantasy X Cid for me, just in terms of like story relevance and usefulness. But he's also Final Fantasy 2 Cid is important because he's the one who like really started the Cid tradition. So
he is the first Cid.
Yeah, so it's a little
for that
with this one.
For that, and guess what? He serves the role of Cid better than Final Fantasy 15 Cid.
That's true.
So he's going in C tier.
All right.
All right, cool. We're making some progress. Mm-hmm. Okay, Final Fantasy IV Sid.
A tier.
A tier?
Yep. Don't even have to think about it.
Because I was kind of
you think S?
I'm going to say A tier. And I'll say A tier because of this. He's not S tier because once Cecil or Sissel, whatever, once
spoilers,
he becomes...
Spoilers for Final Fantasy IV?
Spoilers for Final Fantasy IV on the Final Fantasy... this is not a Final Fantasy podcast. On the RPG podcast. Once he becomes a paladin, pretty much all character progression from a story level goes out the window.
Yeah.
And it becomes really hard to really care about everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And so this Cid is fucking cool because he suicide bombs himself and comes back.
Yeah.
This guy comes back after suicide bombing himself.
Man. Like, this Cid is, like, super relevant to the plot. He's one of your party members. He's the dad of the love interest. He's just great. He's fun. He's just great. Like, this Cid, like, I feel like only this Cid and Final Fantasy VII Cid are, like, the two main, like, actual relevant story characters in their respective games.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy VI Cid is...
Oh, yeah, but I just mean, like, as you, like, your party member. Because Final Fantasy VI Cid, he's a villain.
Right? Wait, is he?
Yes, he is. He's a part of, like, Kefka's army.
Yeah, but isn't it, like, isn't it kind of not like what he wants to do, though? I'm pretty sure he just does that begrudgingly, because I remember there's that whole scene whenever he passes away, and then what's her name? The girl with the blonde hair.
Oh yeah.
She like finds like a raft or something that he hid underneath the house for her. I can't remember.
I barely remember that, but yeah, it's been a while since I played 6, so maybe I don't know.
I just couldn't remember if he was villainous or not. I think for a minute he was, and then he was good or something.
Probably.
But anyways, I appreciate the 4 Cid a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
A is fine with me.
Cool. Who the fuck is this?
I'm assuming this is 5. I've not played 5 because so looking at it down here, I know this is someone. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 3.
Oh, that's who that. Okay, I was confused with who the guy with who that was.
Mustache? Yeah. Bro, Oglop Cid.
Right. Okay. He was an Oglop most of the time, you know. He was an Oglop.
Yeah. Well, but then he's later turned into a frog.
All right. Okay. Cool.
And
so
then,
that's
in the credits, he's a guy.
So I guess then it's been so long since I played Final Fantasy V. So for me, I'd put him at who. I don't remember jack shit about this guy.
Well, as someone who's never played Final Fantasy V, he literally is a who for me. So
I'm sorry to anybody who really likes Final Fantasy V, but for me, I don't remember anything about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I guess in that way, that just means he's not memorable. He didn't impact me. So.
Truth, bro. Okay,
sorry to anybody
who's
hoping for a 1-hour discussion about Final Fantasy V Cid specifically.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. All right, Final Fantasy VI.
Okay.
Cid. I mean, as we were talking about earlier, like we said, like he was kind of antagonistic for a while. So just from that, I'd already put a minimum C tier, just because I can't remember the rest about him. I just remember he was antagonistic for a while, but otherwise I can't really remember too much.
Yeah, and here's the thing though. This is Final Fantasy VI Cid. So for a lot of people out there who think that 6 is the definitive Final Fantasy game, they're gonna be mad if we don't think that he's cool.
That's true.
I don't know. I think
I'd put him for maybe B
tier.
Yeah.
Can you remember anything about him other than the fact that he was villainous?
No, I legit
for a
can't.
Second.
Just because I know that there were definitely scenes with him next to Kefka, and they were like talking about stuff. But yeah, otherwise I don't remember anything.
Yeah. he is the chief scientist for the Gestalian Empire, or the Gestal Empire.
Yeah.
Cid's discoveries are what allowed the Empire to become the world-conquering superpower that it is. Are you looking at a wiki for Final Fantasy VI? It's kind of all literally his fault.
Are you looking at a wiki for Final Fantasy VI?
I am, but also, cool. He's known Celeste. That's her name, by the way.
Okay, cool.
Since she was very young, and treats her like she's his daughter.
I kind of remember.
So there is some really cool relationship stuff that happens right there. I do remember feeling somewhat emotional whenever they, the world breaks apart and stuff, right. And then the death, all the deaths happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that he's also an A tier. I like him.
Ooh, now, this next one.
This next one's hard. I don't know where to put him.
Maybe.
Okay, he goes in the Final Fantasy VII Cid tier.
All right. Yeah, I think that's fair. That's justifiable, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I mean, I guess we could continue talking about it for a little bit. Do you have any? Do you have any thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Cid?
He's cool. I like him a lot. He's a very fun character. Kind of an asshole, but actually not kind of. He is an asshole, but yeah, he's cool.
I did enjoy the story of, that lady who, I can't remember her name, but
Scientist girl.
She was like his girlfriend, kind of, like they were in love with each other, and like he had like a lot of respect for her, but she cared so much about him, and he cared so much about his work, that it was like this conflicting thing in their relationship. But there's just some cool stuff. I liked it.
Yeah, I feel like Final Fantasy VII Cid probably had the most emotional, from what I remember, the most emotional story. Actually, hold up. I
don't know. Final Fantasy IX Cid cheated on his wife, and she turned him into a bug. So.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Oof.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so if that's it on Final Fantasy VII, you did recently beat Final Fantasy VIII.
I did. And next up is Final Fantasy VIII Cid. He doesn't at all fill the role of a Cid character, because he's like the president of the school and stuff.
Right, he's like,
Yeah, he's the one who like fills out the orders and stuff. Like, hey, students, go to war. Ugh.
Yeah. But don't spoil like, late things, because I know he's pretty fucking important later on.
Yeah, he gets pretty important later on, but even then he doesn't really do a whole lot. He's just like, hey, I need you to do this thing for me. All right, cool.
Okay.
But yeah, he was fine.
I'm gonna leave his ranking in your hands.
Cool. A lot of pressure. I'd put him. He was a fun character. I put him at B.
B.
Yeah.
Oh, punch.
He definitely was more relevant than the guys below him. So just for that, like story wise, he was more important. So yeah, it was very relevant in terms of like the story. So I put him at B. Yeah, for a fact.
Yeah. All right. The degenerate himself. Final Fantasy IX Cid. He doesn't fly any airships.
Nope.
But I feel like I burped. He doesn't fly the airships.
Nope.
But he is pretty much like the head like designer and captain.
Yeah.
And like president of this whole like city that revolves around like the construction of airships.
Yep, he's a pretty important dude.
So as far as airships go, he's kind of like he's kind of
the
Mr.
Cid of
President.
Cids.
Yeah. He did cheat on his wife though.
Yeah, it's kind of brings it down a couple of points. If I'm being honest.
He did, dude. Hey, but then he adopts Aiko. Him and his wife, after they got back together, they adopt Aiko.
Oh yeah.
So he's fatherly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's also an Oglot for like half the game.
That's true. I'm gonna say he's also a B Cid.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
Maybe. I'm thinking A or B, though. I'm going to say that. Yeah. Okay.
Final Fantasy 3 Sid.
Final Fantasy 3 Sid. You just beat Final Fantasy 3 again also, right?
Yeah. Not recently, but I did beat it, yes.
Yeah, okay.
But there was a huge gap.
What can you tell me about this guy?
I will say there was a huge gap from when I played it to when I beat it, because there was a period where I was playing the game, and then I got to the final dungeon, and that was a bitch, and it just made me so upset that I just stopped playing the game for almost 2 years. So there's a lot that I don't remember. But I know that this Sid is very important to, like, the plot, and he's especially like the 4 characters. I think he's pretty much just like their father, kind of, not literally, but pretty much just like as their like fatherly figure. He does. It's funny what happens like the early of the game when you first meet him. He gives you an airship, and then you immediately crash and destroy that airship.
That is true.
Yeah,
you kind of fucked this guy over pretty good in the beginning of the game.
But he stays around for a while and definitely tries to help the 4 Warriors of Light in that game. He's pretty relevant.
Yeah.
Man, where would I put this guy? But I don't remember too much. I'm thinking C.
Yeah, I'm thinking C tier.
Yeah. He's not as good as the other Sids, but I feel like he's a little bit better than some of the other Sids at the bottom, for a fact.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, we have our definitive ranking of all.
Well, let's go through it one more time just to make sure we're.
Yeah. So
at the bottom
we got the Who category.
So who's at the bottom?
We got Final Fantasy 11 Sid.
Okay.
We got Final Fantasy 13 Sid.
All right.
And we got Final Fantasy 5 Sid.
Okay. And I'm okay with that list.
Cool. And these Sids are just unmemorable, literally, because we don't remember them.
Yeah, I literally don't remember.
Yeah. Okay, and then right above that, basically that's just the unmemorable category, but right above the Who category, we got D, which also stands for dog shit.
Dog shit. Like, we remember him, but he didn't. He was dog shit.
He was kind of dog shit,
yeah.
Which is Sid from Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah. But it's okay. Pretty soon I'm playing, well, not pretty soon. The next Final Fantasy game is going to be 15, so maybe that'll change.
Yeah,
for me.
like we mentioned on episode 2 of the podcast, DJ was amped for this game and has only played 3 chapters of it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so right above dog shit, we got cat shit. Nah, just kidding. We got C tier. These guys are cool. These guys
are cool, but not the best.
Yeah, we got the Albed Sid from Final Fantasy X. We got the Sid that started it all.
Yeah, just basic, just pretty much. This is Sid. This is what Sid should be. The standard Sid.
Sure, yeah, standard Sid. And then we got Final Fantasy 3 Sid.
Yeah,
and I'm actually, we weren't organizing it like this, but I'm just gonna put him kind of in front of him because he's better than Final Fantasy 2 Sid.
I agree.
Okay.
Actually, if that's the case, I would put him higher than Final Fantasy X Sid personally.
Oh, okay. So yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, we got we got 3.
Well, then on the Who tier, who's the best Who tier? If we're doing
the best
like
Who tier,
probably 13.
Yeah, probably 13s, I guess, because I remember. I actually do kind of remember him.
And then I would put 5 only because I played that and I know nothing of 11.
Yeah. Okay, so we got the B tier. We got 12 Sid. We got 8 Sid, and we got 9 Sid.
For me personally, I like the way that they're set up already. I mean, I don't know about you. How you feel about these Sids?
I know the most about 9 Sid.
Right.
I know practically nothing about the 12 Sid. And I've only seen 8 Sid as just like the kind of guy from Final Fantasy 8 who like he's like, don't be too harsh on the kids,
Right.
But yeah, okay. But I'm fine with this,
Okay.
I would do if it's for me. Well, I can't do it. So never mind. Yeah, it'd be 9, 8, 12.
Okay.
But then we got A tier. We got Final Fantasy 14 Sid.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because of looks alone on my end.
I mean, yeah, I agree.
Literally because that boy's handsome.
Right. I mean, I know he's relevant to the plot, just I don't fucking remember.
Yeah. All right, then after that, we got Suicide Bomber.
Hell yeah,
Sid
dude.
from Final Fantasy IV, back from the dead.
Back at it again to make these airships.
Yeah. And then we got the this guy's a freaking coin. There's two sides to him, bro.
Yeah. By day he's
Sid.
good, by
God,
night oh no.
I don't know what just happened. A bunch of ads are on the screen now. Okay. And then we got
it fucked up the list.
Oh. It did fuck up the list. Okay, cool. There we are. I went back a page.
Okay, cool.
Brandon's fancy mouse has a feature that makes me go back a screen by just pressing on the mouse.
Interesting.
But okay, yeah, and then he surpasses S tier and goes straight to Final Fantasy VII Sid.
Wait, hold up. We gotta choose the order of these A tier Sids.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I for me personally, I would do
kind of
4,
like the way
6,
it is.
14. You kind of like it? You kind of
okay.
I'm fine with
I
that.
just love the fucking handsome Sid.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
But how would you do? Would you do 4, 6, 14?
I would do 4, 6, 14. Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah. But I'm cool with 14 Sid just because he's handsome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, shit. Should we just make him S tier then? Yeah. Just have him by his own thing.
How about we put Sid from Final Fantasy VII in the S tier, and then Final Fantasy 14 Sid in the Final Fantasy VII Sid tier list.
Fuck it.
I'm cool with it.
I'm cool with it.
Okay, screenshot. Boom. Here it is.
Here is your definitive
Final Fantasy Sid tier list.
All right, let's send this to Square Enix.
Yeah.
And then they'll have to agree with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
So that was the tier list.
That was the tier list. That actually makes me want to ask you, just like, what is something that you... Well, I guess now I have two questions. What's one thing that you appreciate about just having a Sid in the game? Just like the fact that in every Final Fantasy game, after 1, of course, there's always just like a Sid. Because for me personally, I just think it's cool how there's just like... That's one of the things that makes a Final Fantasy game is having this reoccurring character, and he's always slightly different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, welcome to the Sid Appreciation Podcast.
Pretty much.
By the way, this segment is called Too Many Sids.
Yep. Was runner up for possible name of the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what I appreciate about Sid, in a lot of respects, the same kind of thing that you mentioned. Mm-hmm. Final Fantasy II really was this. It was the start of a lot of standards for the entire series.
Definitely.
We got chocobos. We got, I'm pretty sure, Moogles, right?
I believe so.
I'm pretty sure chocobos, Moogles, and Sids, and dragoons.
Oh yeah.
They all started in Final Fantasy 2.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one of those is wrong. I'm not sure,
but a lot of things.
If I'm wrong, let me know. But yeah, it started it all. It started this motion of, it's not a Final Fantasy game unless it has this thing,
Yeah.
Sid has definitely become one of those staples for the entire series. Whether he's a good guy or a bad guy, whether he flies an airship or
doesn't.
Yeah, like the fucking president of a school.
Yeah.
President. What do you call those? What do you call the school president?
Yeah, I know.
Principal.
Yeah, there we go.
Principal. the fucking president.
The president.
Yeah. He's a very versatile man. He's a man of many trades.
Agreed.
Yeah. Final Fantasy VII Sid, he didn't just fucking build airships or like, fly a plane. He straight up was building a rocket to go to space.
He one-upped all the other Cids.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 13 Cid, edgy, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
Final Fantasy 15 Cid, just old. Has a hot daughter.
Old, yeah.
Hot granddaughter.
He's a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess that could be a question for the audience as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Just what do you like about? Yeah, you asked the question.
It was like what's something that you appreciate about having a Cid in a Final Fantasy game or something like that. Which also,
guys, write your Cid appreciation posts in the comments.
No, not a post, a fucking 2-page essay.
Yeah.
But that also makes me beg the question with like just both in general and also with the upcoming Final Fantasy 16 game. What do you think would be like an interesting difference to have with like a new Cid? Because in a lot of the Cids, they're like the good guy who flies the airship, or they're just like a helper, or they're a party member, or in other games he's the villain. What do you think would be like an interesting change with like this Cid? Like he's this, and that's what makes him stand out.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, as we were kind of talking about it earlier, I think it would be really cool. I mean, because Final Fantasy 15 did kind of use Cindy as the... Like, Cindy was more of a Cid person than Cid was, I think.
Yeah.
So, but it would be really cool, though, if just straight up the Cid in... I don't know. Because at first I thought that they were going to name her, like... Sydney, like
CID.
Like the place in Australia.
Oh yeah.
But it was Cindy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe Final Fantasy 16 Cid. If Sydney was just too confusing, I understand. But if there was straight up just a female Cid, that'd be dope.
That would be dope,
dude. If Cid was a dragoon,
ooh.
Oh, but I mean, Final Fantasy 7 Cid kind of was already a dragoon.
Oh yeah, he had a lance. Which I'm excited to. Whenever Cid becomes like a playable party member of the Final Fantasy 7 remake, that would be tight.
That would be really cool. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some sort of like, because that would be cool if they did a whole Final Fantasy 4 route and made him a completely 7 route, just making him a completely playable character in your party.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I don't know what he would do. Maybe he's a mage. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I'd like to see 16 give me a playable Cid. I don't care if it's a boy or a girl. Girl would be cool.
Yeah. Just make him a good character.
Yeah.
That's all we ask.
Just make him dope.
Yeah.
Just make him dope.
Even
if he's a summon, I don't care.
Oh, you know what? That would be tight.
Give me a fun summon.
That'd be a fun something new to the series.
What would it be? Like what would his like?
He just
because
crashes
how
an
all
airship.
of these summons are kind of taken from some sort of like mythology or some like religious background.
Yeah.
That I don't. What the fuck would Cid be?
I don't know, Noah's Ark.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we're kind of running this podcast a bit shorter than normal. Which
42 minutes isn't that bad.
Yeah. Under an hour, but we did this. I guess my other question, if we're going to just say the questions of the week right now, I would say, and you can answer all three of these because I have one more that I want to ask. All of these are pretty much pertaining to Cid. DJ's questions were, what do you appreciate about Cid?
Yeah.
Like, what is your favorite thing about Cid? You can say anything. Just give us your Cid appreciation. The other one is in Final Fantasy 16. It'll be really nice if people, listen to this podcast after 16 is released and, our wishes came true or something. But in Final Fantasy 16, what is like your expectation? Like, what are your expectations for Cid in Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah.
What do you hope he does or she does? Just give us, your theories on that. And then my final one is just a simple, how would you rank these? Who is your favorite Cid? you can go ahead and answer one of those or two of them or all
and
three of them.
And if it's not Final Fantasy 14 Sid
awesome.
because he's attractive, you're wrong. That's all I got to say.
Factual.
What if someone actually does say, Final Fantasy 11 Sid was my favorite?
Dude, I hope they give me a good-ass reason because I don't know shit about him. But yeah. So, I'm going to go ahead and just say that's the end of this podcast, boy.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Yeah, it's good. It's good shit.
Cool. Well, I don't know what we'll do next time. I thought I had a plan, but maybe I'll discuss it with DJ behind the scenes, and then next week we'll hit you with something cool. If you answer any of the questions of the week, we 100% will read those on the next podcast. So thank you again, DJ, for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I love you too.
Yeah.
And we love you people for listening and watching.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.